That was my first. I just finished. This is my second.
It's all scripted, it's all fake. That's not exactly true either. You see, these shows operate more like human science experiments than scripted entertainment.
So I'm getting alcohol this week. Bro, I'm talking about caffeine, sis. You're good. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was cooking all day today, bro. I was other than the gym and planning and working, I was just in here, bro, on the computer, just working on music.
Producers aren't necessarily telling contestants
And
what
like,
to do.
I know you guys probably don't think that's like a lot of like energy draining, so I'm not moving a lot, bro. It takes so much like mental fortitude to sit through it and listen to the song back the same 10 seconds and then edit it, change it. All right, rewind it, listen to the same 10 seconds again. And well, a whole motherfucking year. Now that's commitment. That's a real one. Shout out to Kaylin for a fucking tier 1 for 12 months. You're amazing. You're amazing. No way. So chat. Shout out to motherfucking Kaylin. Kaylin, did you hear where we got the final P&E tour show? We're all grouping up in Indiana this time, the end of the year. Definitely, bro, we got to remake our pig. Then you feel like, bro, yeah, it's been a year. And the final P&E tour, you came to the first one, you got to come to the last one. For real, yeah, we just posted the details today. We just got a schedule. We're going to have our own venue, everything. Shout out to Kaylin. And also, I just received word that my cat ears and cat tail are here. I don't know about the cat tail quite yet, but I will put cat ears now on here. So I'll wear cat ears for remainder of stream for this Wheel of Coom spin. First two went by so fast. That's awesome, W. Chat, I can't believe it's already been a year. Almost one. I mean, we're on month 8, but still, like, by the time we're playing the final show for the last month. Rock the whole. I gotta see what it looks like first. I gotta see how crazy the tail is. You know what I mean, Milan? I can't. It's at. Jason just said I arrived at my door. He ordered that shit quick as fuck. Meow. But
What to say and how to act, but going through a series of calculated behind-the-scenes steps to control the environment and nearly guarantee chaos on camera. Unfortunately, because these
Jersey
tactics
Shore mentioned
are designed to push people past their breaking point, there have been countless cases where contestants' lives were tragically cut short, with many pointing to the mental and emotional toll these shows have
how you
had
attach the tail. It was like a weird like metal sphere kind of thing. I don't know.
on them. Today we are going to uncover the step-by-step process reality shows use to psychologically manipulate their contestants into getting the entertainment that they want, and all the ways it has gone horribly
Or
wrong.
Amazon.
It all starts with the people they
Right, Jason gets in the
cast in the
Amazon.
first place, whose personality profiles will naturally clash, ensuring fights and maximizing drama. Even though reality shows can have vastly different premises, most of them follow a similar structure. Bring a group of strangers together, isolate them
The
from the
tail
outside world,
goes.
and then put them through some kind of
You
challenge
know.
with real stakes on the line. And whether the final prize is money or love, the production process for maximizing the entertainment value
What's more
of these
valuable,
shows is
chat?
mostly the
Money
same,
or
and a
love?
lot of it relies on morally unethical behavior. Before the cameras turn on, reality shows have an extremely calculated casting process. The first step for getting on many reality shows is
Just
a
get the
lengthy
tail. I'll let you borrow the
application, and
tail.
we're not talking a job application. Shows like Big Brother require IQ and psychological
Love
evaluations.
always. Let me stop. I agree, Turk. Right, Turk. I gotta get bulky for the last show, bro. I gotta get on. You gotta hit me up on these bulking plans, bro. This point money depends where I'm at in life.
To ensure contestants will be
I
able
gotta
to
grow my
perform under
arms by
pressure.
at least 3 inches each. But it doesn't have a clip. Love
Survivor is
always.
similar, where production goes
Love's gonna get you killed. But pride's gonna be the death of me.
through
Sorry.
25,000
Online
initial applicants,
coach. Even my online prostitute.
complete with background and psychological screenings before they're even considered for a callback. One of the reasons why this process takes so long is because producers aren't just looking for good contestants, they're looking for specific characters. Every person on the show has to fit a very specific
costs
role.
extra.
You might have the hero, the
How
villain,
much?
the underdog, the heartbreaker, the loudmouth, the wild card. It's like casting
There's
for a
the
movie,
lover.
except the script hasn't been written yet.
Listen,
and
bro.
usually the
One
most
thing about
successful
Turk
shows are
is
when
he's a slut for cash.
Everyone plays their role perfectly. Like in Jersey Shore, Ronnie was the
Yes.
hothead who wanted to start fights. Jenny was the female hothead who wanted to start fights. Snooki was the lovable mess. Mike the Situation was the arrogant loudmouth. Vinny was the laid-back, lovable nice guy. Pauly D was the uplifting wingman. You knew exactly what you were going to get from each character, which made the
Real.
show easier
I like how there's no Sammy mention. Just forget about her altogether.
to produce, made the stories easier to
The
write, and
texture.
fans could easily understand
Or
and
fuck,
develop parasocial
cold,
relationships with the
hard
cast.
cash.
However, during the casting process,
Lovable
what producers
mess. That's you, Kato.
are truly looking for are people that exhibit characteristics known as the dark triad. The term dark triad
Chat. That's us.
refers to a trio of negative personality traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism,
What is Machiavellianism? I'm sure they're gonna tell us, and I know the other two mean psychopathy. So what is Does anyone know off the top of their head? How much do I weigh? Like 192. Thanks, brother. But I've been bulking a lot. I mean, you've seen, right? I just been drinking hella mass gainers and eggs. Keep my name out
and
of it.
psychopathy. Put more simply, they're looking for those who are entitled, lack empathy, and manipulate others. Why? Well, these are the people that create the best drama. A perfect example is Russell Hantz from Survivor. But first, a quick word from today. How do you
Fuck,
say
fuck, fuck,
Zipper
fuck,
would
fuck,
admit
fuck,
it
fuck,
was
fuck,
an
fuck.
awesome scan the Q. Russell became
free
legendary
brand
for
deals.
burning other contestants'
The author of Dante's Inferno. What does it mean? Like, I want to know for future reference. You work out every day, but I mean, you saw my split. This is where I can do it every day. I rest enough between each one.
stocks, sabotaging food supplies, and lying straight to people's face. He wasn't just playing the game.
This is the Planet Fitness. You're filling out the Planet Fitness form, aren't you? I mean, sinister. Ooh, I'm sinister in nature. I was watching. It's like chaotic.
was
I think.
thriving on manipulation and control, and fans love to hate him
No,
for
no,
it.
no. I'm messing with you, Turk.
Some contestants wear these dark triad traits like a badge of honor.
Exactly,
Tiffany New York
Cody.
Pollard
For self-interest, bro. You're the Machiavellian one.
is one of the most iconic reality stars in history who was unapologetic about stirring up drama on VH1's Flavor of Love.
Not you. You can choke. This was the first interaction I really had with Rain, so I wanted to see her anger level. I wanted to see if I was powerful enough.
They called me out on it. Belon's always pulling the strings behind the scenes, causing drama between people.
To twist her mind. It was a mind thing. She got mind screwed by me, and it worked. My advice to the other ladies in the house would be beware of me, because I'm not backing
That's
down.
Or
wild.
take Stephen Bear from X on the Beach. He built a
Always
persona
plotting,
around seduction,
as you
betrayal, and exploiting his relationships for entertainment, but it turns out this was no persona. This was actually who he was in real life. Bear was convicted and jailed for revenge prawn after leaking
my
explicit
God.
footage of an ex-partner online.
What?
He was sentenced to
What's it
21
called?
months in prison. Psychologist Pamela B. Rutledge says that the perfect reality TV star
What's
and
it
the perfect
called?
scammer or con artist have many overlapping traits. Actors, con artists, and scammers all tend to exude energy and have excellent powers of persuasion. The best scammers can project something desirable and likable about themselves to increase perceptions of trust and appear to offer an opportunity with lots of upside while glossing over the risks. And
Yes, me.
to no surprise,
kidding.
there are literally countless people who were found guilty of financial crimes before or after appearing on reality TV. Jen Shah from the
Dude, holy fuck, bro. What's that mask show with Jim Carrey? Were they talking
Real
about
Housewives
me?
of Salt Lake City
You
was
are
running
persuasive.
a telemarketing scam targeting vulnerable, often elderly individuals. Shah pleaded guilty and was later sentenced to 6.5 years in prison and
Damn!
ordered to pay $6.5 million in restitution.
6.5
Teresa Giudice from the
years?
Real Housewives of New Jersey served 11 months in prison after committing multiple acts of financial fraud. Richard Hatch from Survivor was indicted for fraud and tax evasion. Todd and Julie Chrisley were
Jesus.
found guilty
Here's
of both
what
evading
I
tax
don't get, bro. I feel like financial crimes, you can never truly get away with them. You know what I mean? Like it's just there's like it leaves a paper trail. It leaves like there's too many computers involved now. You can't get away with it. Bank fraud, tax evasion, you're just not gonna get away with it, bro. It's just never gonna happen. You might get away with it for a while, but in the end, it'll always catch you. Especially when there's big dollar like money being exchanged, the government will find you.
and conspiracy to defraud community banks out of more than $30
Was
million
good, too.
to fund their lavish lifestyle. Julie and Todd were sentenced to 7 and 12 years in prison, but lucky for
12?
them, another reality star scammer had the power to personally pardon them. If you just Google reality star fraud, you'll get so many different examples that it actually looks like these producers are intentionally trying to cast scammers to be on their show. But show producers have been criticized for not doing enough due diligence
I need a jerk-off schedule.
Avoid platforming bad or immoral people. Since they go through a deep vetting process, they should know about any potential controversies. Bachelor contestants met with a private investigator who is, quote, trained
I'll
to
send
dig
you one. Appreciate it, bro. That's easy.
up any skeletons in the closet, partly to use for their storyline, but also to get ahead
I don't
of any
want to over
tabloid
or
stories
under
that could
Jack.
come to the surface if they were on the show. Had they ever been arrested? Had they ever sent nude photos to anyone? Had they ever made an X tape?
That's
Had they gotten a
weird.
DUI? Recently,
Every
Love
72
Island cast
hours
member Sierra Ortega was removed from season 7 after
is a
posts
good
from years
time. Just after dusk.
ago resurfaced showing her using a racial
I got you. Let me know. You get a new pack of sock. Bro, I don't. Who the fuck uses a sock? Whoever jerks in a sock, you're nasty, bro. I've never jerked off in a sock. I feel like I have to say that. Bro, Carter's a romantic, bro. He's like, it's golden hour. He's like, I'm getting horny at this lighting. He's such a eccentric guy. My nice socks. Bro, that's weird. It doesn't even sound comfortable to put your dick in a sock and jerk off. It just sounds gross. Shoot in the shower. Bruh. Men do that. Listen, chat. I haven't jerked off in probably like 4 or 6 hours. No, I'm kidding. Years. I've been completely corn free for I think 4 years now, chat. It's not 5. Probably close to 5. I'm a BRB. Yeah, hit the showers, kid.
slur that was historically used to attack
Rough.
Asian people. Outrage erupted online, she was labeled a racist, and fans demanded that she be removed from the show. She announced that she left the show due to a personal situation and then issued an apology online.
I had no ill intention when I was using it, but that's absolutely no excuse because intent doesn't excuse ignorance. It just doesn't.
Sierra also noted in her apology that angry fans called ICE on her family,
That's crazy.
and she posted a slew of extremely hateful
been
messages and
7.
threats she was receiving. To give you an
Well,
idea of the magnitude of
times-
Love Island and this
times
controversy, Sierra's
education.
apology video has over 20 million views. Now, some people were confused why this was being treated as a new news story, considering she had publicly addressed and apologized for the use of this slur before she was
Education.
ever on Love Island, and that raised some conspiracies. Some suggest that producers knew about this controversy before the masses did and actively ignored it. Because if you think about it, Love Island only
I'll give you a high
benefits
five, Turk. Psh.
from Sierra's backlash, as her name is directly tied to the Netflix series. I think it's safe to assume that when it comes to a
I've never
reality
seen
TV
Love
show,
Island
all
still.
publicity is good publicity, right? When Love is Blind faced similar backlash for allegedly platforming bad people, creator Chris Colin defended their vetting process. We have background checks and
High five,
psychological
too.
evaluations. Everyone in the
A
world
tip,
has
high
a story,
five.
and we aren't the police. These shows don't take accountability for the actions of their contestants because, well, realistically, they aren't to blame, but also because they aren't exactly looking for the most morally righteous individuals in the first place. Producers want a
True.
perfect mix of unpredictable, toxic, and genuine personalities, which when thrown in a room together for long enough are guaranteed to cause chaos and produce dramatic television. Then again, producers' psychological
Has anyone
manipulation
ever
tactics
fought? Has anyone ever thrown hands on Love Island, chat? Does anyone know?
can even have genuine people behave differently than they normally would.
Anyone
Sarah
ever thrown
Hartshorn, who was
fists?
cast on America's Next Top Model in 2007, described producers exuding a subtle tactic. Thousands upon thousands sent in audition tapes from all over the country, every single state. We had casting scouts all over looking for candidates, and you guys are the ones who made it. You're here, and it's not just your looks. You all know that being a top model is more than that. It's who you are, and one of you is America's Next Top Model. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
never-
By framing the
That's a
contest-
reality show?
As chosen and exceptional, producers create a heightened sense of purpose and pressure. It deepens the emotional investment of the cast.
They made him model in one of those balls,
making them more willing to endure extreme conditions or humiliation for the sake of not wasting their once-in-a-lifetime shot. It also shifts the power dynamic in favor of the producers.
Damn, who dat?
Contestants are no longer just people, they're characters in the producer's story that they feel obligated to live up to. And before ever stepping onto the set, contestants are almost always required to sign strict contracts, often including detailed non-disclosure agreements. Now, it's easy to understand why NDAs are somewhat necessary to prevent the show's ending from being spoiled by bitter contestants, as the episodes were filmed months in advance, but fans have to wait week after week to find out what happens. What they don't realize is sometimes these contracts come with threats. Sarah Hartstone recalls America's Next Top Model producers threatening to sue contestants for $5 million if they leaked any information about the show. The contestants were shook. They thought, we don't have $5 million. The producers replied, we know you don't. We know all about
UCB pay-per-view. Damn.
All of your financial information. None of you have $5 million.
Yes, I'm not
None
seeing
of your
any
families
UFC
have
fights
$5
for a
million
while.
either. But the NDAs can go even further. They can prohibit contestants from publicly discussing production conditions, mental health struggles during filming, and any manipulative tactics producers use behind the scenes. Take this viral Reddit post from a former reality show contestant, for example. The producers made me go through hell for 4 months. I lost my house, my car, my business, my boyfriend. I was very naive, and they exploited me to the point of a mental breakdown. They used contracts to hold me hostage in a sense, gaslit me every day. I can't even bring myself to discuss what they did, as it's so upsetting.
Bro, there's still dudes out here gaslighting in 2025. What an old hobby. No one does that. Who cares? That shit got boring long ago for me, chat.
To think of, as they used me, and I feel so stupid. I'm now living with my parents at 40, too afraid to date or work again, and have overwhelming shame. Now sure, this could just be a random person on the internet making this whole thing up, but this anonymous account sounds exactly like the countless personal stories I will share throughout this video. So now that producers have acquired a perfect cast of clashing personalities, instilled all of them with a slight god complex, and prevented them from revealing any information about their experience, the next thing to do is manipulate their surroundings, restricting
what the
their
hell is that guy tweaking
implementing
about?
borderline torturous tactics to manufacture chaos. And it
Oh
all
my
starts
God.
with 24/7 surveillance. As soon as you wake up in the morning, your mic is put on. When you go to bed, it's taken off. On The Bachelor, contestants sign contracts in which they must agree to be filmed up to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But this may also be by means of hidden cameras and microphones, according to the contract, meaning they're likely going to be caught at some point in a less than positive light. They should have no expectation of privacy. This may seem like an obvious necessity for reality
If I always thought I was being filmed, I'd be overperforming 24/7
to function. After all, the only way they can capture reality is by making sure literally everything is being filmed and recorded. Right? Sometimes you see a contestant rip off their microphone and storm off to essentially protest being recorded, but the cameras just follow them anyways, and the audience is excited for more drama. It's a harsh reminder that they literally can never escape. On The Bachelor, constant filming is actually sold as a good part of the experience. Contestants open up about things like anxiety, grief, or past trauma, all while the cameras are rolling 24/7, turning their real pain into a part of the show. The audience is made to believe that all this surveillance is necessary to show someone's journey, because towards the end of the show there is literally a highlight
I can't believe
reel
people
of
watch
their
this
pain
shit
being broadcast to millions of people. And the craziest part is the contestants have no control of how that
I guess I did like
edited,
Jersey Shore,
manufactured.
but like all this shit to me looks kind of like, I don't know, like less than entertaining.
Surveillance is done by the producers to maintain complete control over their participants, and this anonymous Love Island contestant described the extreme lengths producers would go to.
Why would he wear that mask?
When you're there, you don't realise how much you are controlled by them. If
The
you
drama
talk
was
too
peak.
much about life
It was
outside
good
of the
drama,
island, the
but the
voice of God,
drama-
which is like a big speaker, will tell you to shut up. So it's like, this doesn't make good telly. Most of your day is just filled with gossiping about situations inside the villa, because that's all you're allowed to talk about.
Another former Love Island contestant described what producers will do to provoke a situation.
They set up the environment to test you because they know exactly what you don't like. They know exactly what you're scared of. They know what you're attracted to, what you're not attracted to. They know your triggers. So it's very easy for them to manipulate your environment and situations to get the best reaction out of you.
Well, yeah, that's the
Especially
show.
when the storyline is not going the
Honey
way
Badger, though.
that they want. They know exactly how to fix that because they know you very well. You're literally just a little rat in their experiment, and they're trying to see what they can change and what they can do to see how you're going to react and how far they can push you.
Now, beyond surveillance,
Damn.
one of the foundational elements of a successful reality show is keeping the contestants in pure isolation. In Big Brother, contestants are confined to a house with no access to phones, internet, television, or contact with family and friends. This isolation forces them to rely on their relationships within the house, making every
That's
alliance,
crazy.
betrayal, and argument feel more intense. Former Bachelor contestant Leslie Hughes said, "We have nothing.
No phone. Imagine no social media, no TikTok, doom scrolling.
We are completely
No
cut
Twitter,
off from the
doom
world. We
scrolling.
have to talk to each other. We have nothing else to do." Similarly, Love Island
That's
isolates contestants in
crazy.
a luxurious villa where they have no communication with the outside world. There are no distractions, and they essentially create this artificial bubble where everything on set becomes the only thing that matters to them.
We didn't have any autonomy at all. Not only did they take our phones, they took our wallets, they took our IDs, they took our passports,
Damn.
all in the same instance, without telling us ahead of time this was going to happen.
And we were filming 18 to 20 hours a day. The only time we weren't being filmed was when the union crews swapped out for a new crew because they had met their maximum for the day.
You never see daylight unless you're allowed to use the bathroom, which is a trailer outside. They keep you in the state where you really have
Damn.
no idea how much time has transpired. It's one of those things where, looking back on it, if someone told me it was a month, I might have believed them.
So what else can they do
God
to cure their
damn, that's
boredom? Well, have you ever
insane.
noticed just how much alcohol is being consumed on reality
True.
TV shows?
They
It
be
feels like
boozing
most
it
of the
up.
explosive moments or juicy drama erupts after a night of heavy drinking. Nick Bateman from Big Brother said, "Alcohol
What is
was
Big
given to
Brother
us when we were
about?
feeling down or depressed or nothing was going on, because obviously alcohol is the Molotov cocktail producers use to liven things up." Bateman says drinks were coveted by contestants because it would quell the boredom of being captive in the house. Bronwyn
God
Burt from The
damn.
Real Housewives of Orange County says that producers took it a step further. Whenever you're filming, they have alcohol there. They ask you before you go on a trip, what kind do you like? They get to know what your favorites are. And while producers don't force you to drink, alcoholic beverages were readily available, and that sometimes during scenes, cast members were discouraged from eating.
What
Jeremy
the
Hartwell,
fuck?
who was a Love is Blind contestant, sued the company alleging that he
Just
could
watch
not
people
access food
spiral. Was it like a game show? Did you win something? What? I don't understand.
water, but alcohol was available and even encouraged on an empty stomach. Now, it's one thing to give a bunch of partiers some alcohol, but putting restrictions on their diet is just borderline evil, and there's a lot of evidence that supports this tactic. On The Bachelor, contestants are not allowed to eat any food during their dates because the microphones pick up the unpleasant sounds.
Wait, they
No one
can't.
looks
They can't eat the food when they're on the dates.
good eating, and microphones pick up all kinds of chomping. Now, this seems like a justifiable reason, and even though it sounds messed up, in shows like Survivor or Alone, contestants aren't
What about
fed
your
enough
day, I
to
guess?
somewhat mimic the simulated reality of surviving in the wild. But one could also theorize that low blood sugar could prompt emotional reactions,
What the
pushing
fuck?
contestants towards emotional or medical breakdowns. In Mr.
Wishes running held power for the week, vote each other off, and prize money in the end. Oh damn! Is it good? Is
Beast
it a-
Games, contestants complained
is it a
about
fire
their food
show?
rations. One meal reportedly included a tiny portion of cold oatmeal, one hard-boiled egg, and a few pieces of raw vegetables. They also described going
a
long
solid
stretches
meal.
without being fed by the production. There were times when the production staff gave out small feastable chocolate bars and filmed some people eating and praising the candy. Contestants with food allergies and dietary restrictions struggled more
Damn,
than
Mr.
others. Before the
Beast.
competition, people filled out forms detailing their dietary needs. An FAQ document was provided to contestants in advance of the event and said that all dietary and food restrictions would be taken into consideration. However, several
God
contestants claimed to
damn.
be served food they were allergic to and that alternatives hadn't been provided. "We were treated horribly," a contestant said. "They took on this challenge of 2,000 competitors. They should have known they needed an enormous crew to handle this correctly." So now that producers have trapped and isolated
Damn, I liked it. I haven't watched it in a while.
blind
though.
toxic people
Not
who are
Mr.
malnourished
Beast.
and pumped with alcohol, well, at the very least, a good night's sleep would be their last chance to recalibrate. Well, they don't get that either, because sleep deprivation is one of the most messed up but crucial parts of the reality show entertainment
True, sleep
formula.
deprivation
With
makes
Villa
you
Light, there's
crazy.
no clocks. What they was doing was like keeping you up really late, waking you up early, so then you're gonna react more because you like basically got sleep deprivation.
Most competition reality shows follow a similar daily routine.
They're
Wake up
like-
early in the morning, typically around 7 a.m. Then they go do their
what I'm
competitions or
saying.
tasks for the day. Then in the evenings,
But
they
I
talk
like being
strategy or
crazy.
socialize with another while
It's one
getting
of my
drunk. Now you have
superpowers.
to keep in mind that producers' top priority is
Are
to get 45
serious.
minutes of
But it's
watchable
Mr.
television
Beast.
each day. They can count on roughly half of the airtime coming from the actual competitions or tasks, but the other half needs to be the all-too-sweet drama that everyone craves. And if the day is coming to an end and they don't think they have enough, they will keep the contestants awake. For 3 years, Sarah Shapiro
God
worked as a
damn.
producer on the reality show The Bachelor. Her task, as she recalls
Jeff
it,
the player.
was to get the contestants to open up and to give them terrible
Open they
advice
ass.
and to deprive them of sleep. She sees it now as complicated manipulation through friendship. In Jeremy Hartwell's lawsuit against Love is Blind, he said that they implemented what was called night dating. We didn't have clocks or anything, so it's hard to know exactly when it happened, but typically the night dates would last until about 2 a.m. He estimates that between getting back
Damn.
to his hotel room at 3 a.m. and being expected in the lobby at 7:15 a.m., he got 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night. On the challenge, cast members have reported being kept up until 3 or 4 a.m.
God
and then forced into
damn.
physically demanding tasks just a few hours later. On Love Island, lights in the villa stay on until producers decide it's time for bed, and
That's
contestants are often
crazy.
woken up abruptly for surprise challenges. The lights are on the entire time during Big Brother taping, even when the contestants are asleep. Interestingly enough, this is the
They
same
never
tactic
turn
that
the
is
lights off for Big Brother filming.
used by the toughest maximum security
Open your
prison
ass.
in El Salvador.
You open
Privacy
yours.
and sleeping with the lights off is considered a privilege.
The modules are kept lit all day and night for monitoring. When the sun goes down, the lights stay on all the time.
They are constantly being observed. I think this is one of the hardest things. When they try to sleep, they use their towels and cover their eyes to block the light.
And if all this manipulation, control,
Goddamn.
pushing contestants to their breaking point still isn't enough to make a good show, producers have one final weapon. They'll rewrite reality itself through a process known as frankenbiting. Frankenbiting is the editing technique reality TV producers
Yeah,
use to
I feel like in a lot of Jersey Shore this is used.
reshape a contestant's words and actions into whatever storyline they want, even if
Or
it's
no,
not what
I would
actually
hate to get
happened.
arrested outside the
Editors take
States.
small clips of dialogue, sometimes even single words or reactions, and stitch them together to create entirely new sentences or emotional responses that never happened in real life. Now, a lot of the time, this seems to be completely innocuous. Like this clip from The Bachelor. The girl who says, "shut up," is spliced into the edit to make it look like she interrupted Corinne.
I know that I may not be everyone's favorite person.
Shut up.
And I feel like there's like things going on behind my back or comments or whispers, and
In that moment in real life, when Corinne was talking,
Gotcha.
Jamie did not interrupt her and say shut up. That was taken from an entirely
Honestly,
different
Big
moment
Brother,
out
not
of
the stuff we
context.
own
And then the
real
women who
lives.
are shown laughing after Jamie says
Kidding
shut
me. You
up
should've
was
done it,
also
pussy.
clearly taken out of context. This happens so often in reality TV, and it's extremely clunky to watch. It often makes me wonder how people get so invested when you can see that things are manipulated even for the smallest reasons. However, sometimes situations are chopped up so much and narratives are so distorted that it's shameful producers got away with it. On season 1 of Joe
Damn.
Millionaire in 2003, Sarah Kozer was being portrayed as the bad girl. Producers set up a scene where Sarah and Evan go for a walk into the dark yard where the cameras cannot capture them. They took audio from Sarah getting a back massage from another female castmate hours before and then put it over a vague
Damn.
panning shot of the backyard and made it seem like she was giving Evan top in the woods.
They made it look like she gave him head in the woods.
But even when Sarah tried to go
That's
to the press after the show was
crazy.
over and convince everyone that the whole scene was taken out of context, people around the world were not convinced.
Let me take a couple of calls. All right, let's go to Randy. Randy, go ahead.
Hey, Howard, how are you?
Yeah.
Sarah, let me tell you something. You're making up this whole story about you were set up. You were in love with that guy. You were all over him. You went into the woods.
My
We
bad,
all
I'm not
heard
gonna
the
lie.
slurping
If you watch Big
noise.
Brother now, I
Right, you know what?
haven't.
I hate to
And when
break
you
it to
did-
you.
No,
I
let
just
me
want you to
finish.
entertain the possibility that
per chance, not everything you see on television is exactly
You didn't
quite
give him
real
oral?
life.
Well, let me
Nothing.
tell you something. Let me tell you something. Hello? As soon as he didn't pick you and you heard he didn't have the money, you were devastated. You're nothing but a gold-digging white trash loser.
Although Sarah Kozer
Damn.
handled the scrutiny from the public with grace, others fell victim to
People
the
get
immense
so
backlash.
emotional over this
One of the
shit. Oh my
darkest
God.
consequences of reality show editing is how quickly contestants become targets for obsessive, toxic fandoms, which has mostly been aimed towards people who have been labeled as villains on the show. And to some degree, you can't blame the fans. After all, they can only
That's what I'm
judge
saying,
a contestant
Turk.
based on what
He's
they've
calling
seen
it
on the
his
show.
free
But
time,
as we know,
some
these shows
radio
are
show
barely
to
a
bitch and
reflection of who
complain.
that person actually is. What makes it worse is these mass harassment campaigns often come from fans who believe they're acting on some kind of moral high ground. They'll flood a contestant's social media with hate, send death threats, and in some cases, dig up private information like addresses or family details. Olivia Atwood from Love Island UK opened up about receiving over 3,000 messages a day after her season aired, many of them telling her she didn't deserve to live. Another is Big Brother's Erin Grease, who spoke about how viewers campaigned for her to lose her job after producers portrayed her as a manipulator through selective editing. But sometimes the harassment doesn't end with hateful comments. For some contestants, the public mauling and emotional toll have pushed them beyond their breaking point. A stat that absolutely blew my mind was that at least 40
Damn, 30 people have died after finding reality TV fame. Well, since when? Just in total, or what?
people have died on their
Never
own
liked his
volition
show,
after
me
their
neither.
appearances on reality TV. Hana Kimura, a female professional wrestler who was among the cast of the popular Japanese reality series Terrace House, died at age 22. She posted a goodbye message on social media after
Damn.
receiving a storm of hate online. Love Island had 2 contestants in back-to-back seasons suffer the same fate.
No
Sophie Graydon,
way.
age 32 in 2018, and Mike Thelastis, age 26 in
Oh my God. Love Island is dark.
2019.
The Love Island fans are scary.
The Bachelor had 2 women from the same exact season pass, Alexa McAllister and Gia Allemond. What if I told you that the very first person who was ever voted off a reality show in history also suffered the same fate?
Olivia.
Would that not be a slight indication of a broken system? In June 1997, Sinisa Savija became the first person in the world to ever be voted off a reality TV competition. The show was called Expedition Robinson. 4 weeks after he was voted off, he walked in front of a train. 9 weeks after that, the first episode of Expedition Robinson aired anyway. Before I started researching this video, I knew reality shows were pretty messed up, but I had no idea just how many tragic losses have been suffered from former contestants and the countless other attempts that have been made. And of course, this fate is never the result of just one thing. It's an incredibly complex and deep decision influenced by countless factors. But when reality shows follow the same formula again and again, calculated casting, 24/7 surveillance, isolating contestants, restricting their diet, flooding them with alcohol, depriving them of sleep, turning them essentially into controlled robots, and then putting all of their worst moments on display to millions of people, it's easy to see the inherent evil reality TV needs to have to create the entertainment. And with so many lives lost, it starts to make you wonder if this obviously broken system will ever change.